Hello and welcome to Cirencester Radio's The Brains Behind the Business show. I'm Carol Boydell and alongside our business correspondent Virginia Stourton, every month we like to introduce you to some amazing people, exploring with them their backstory, why they do what they do. In this month's issue, Virginia welcomes two truly inspirational business owners. Both have changed direction and both are looking forward to whatever life brings their way. We start with Nicholas Newton, now a composer, but someone who started life's journey studying astrophysics. And Virginia begins the interview with a piece of simply amazing music composed by Nicholas.
You've just heard some lovely music. I'm just sort of relaxing listening to it. It's so nice. And what is very exciting is that any minute now I'm going to be talking to the composer, who is somebody called Nicholas Newton. And Nicholas's journey, I think music is quite spiritual, isn't it? And Nicholas's journey has really been very interesting. In a minute I'm going to stop talking because we need to hear from you, Nicholas. As that really you started off in mathematics, I think, and science, but you always had this dream, didn't you? So Havens is this lovely music we've just been hearing a snippet of. Tell us your story.
Okay, well, hi Virginia, it's lovely to be here and talk to you. Yes, you just heard a track called Ancestral Dreams from my album, which is basically a lifelong dream that I've fulfilled to produce this music. We're going back 25, 30 years to when some of the melodies were actually composed. So it's been a big part of my life for a long time. And only recently have I actually been able to produce and make this album. If we go back to the start, as a sort of teenager at school, I was very, very science-based. My hobby was astronomy. I had a telescope, so I was very good at science at school, but I didn't pay any attention to music. It just, at that point in my life, it just hadn't developed that passion for it. And then in my later teens, I started listening to some of my mum's music, and then I finally discovered music that really made me sort of passionate, and that was musical theatre, classical music, opera, film scores, and suddenly I was just sort of, like you said, it's a bit spiritual, and you find what it is about music that really moves you and makes you feel something. So then I had that music, and a dream job would sort of be a film composer, doing that sweeping, romantic, orchestral music, and the amazing imagery that goes with that music. And then fast forward to university, I went to Cardiff to study astrophysics. That first year I was quite homesick. I'd never been away from home. So I was looking for a new hobby to pass the time, and that's when the music occurred to me. So I started playing on a keyboard. I didn't actually learn to play, but I just loved creating and messing around and hearing what melodies I could come up with. So I did that for a while, and then that was just around the time, sort of late 1990s, when computers were coming on the scene. So the university had a computer room, and that was basically everyone's first taste of getting online and everything like that. But it also brought the opportunity, because you didn't have to be trained in music to be able to then create and record your music. So people were making software already back then that you could use to compose music, and then would play it back to you. So once I found that, I was away. I had tunes in my head. I had them sort of written down as best I could, but then I had the software to get them down and build them up and build up different melodies into actual songs and tracks. And I did that for quite a few years. It was really, really a passion of mine, but I never thought it would go anywhere. It was always, I'm so passionate about it, but I know I'm not trained, so nothing will ever happen.
I don't agree with you. I'm butting in here. Nothing will ever happen, because actually, as far as I can make out, everything is happening, because you've got quite a record now of all the things that you have been doing, haven't you? So I don't want to interrupt, because this is very interesting. So really, what you were doing as well is you were getting the tunes and everything were in your head, which I think is called inspiration. It's like a writer. It's like a writer, isn't it? It's sort of there, but it's quite difficult to get it on the paper, or to get it so everyone can hear it. So you probably did quite a bit of experimenting in that period. Did you finding what you felt comfortable with, your kind of music? I
was very much on the orchestral side, but always inspired by something like nature. So, if I could make the music tie in to something that I was really passionate about. You think of going to the sea or being in a beautiful forest, and that music that conjures up that sense of being out in the natural world, relaxing and taking it all in, and then going even further towards sort of fantasy. I've always been a big fan of Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So Tolkien, those magical worlds, the legends and everything, and the way he describes nature as well is just astonishing. So when you read his work, you're transported into this other world so completely. You can picture it, feel it, and that's the kind of thing I wanted to capture when I was creating these melodies.
Absolutely lovely. I think that sounds absolutely really exciting. But now you've gone a stage further, because now what have you been doing? What are your recent concerts that you've been doing? What work have you been doing, or broadcasts?
Yes. That's come off the back of actually making the album, and that probably, I can't say, but it may not have happened without the pandemic, because that is what triggered the sort of chain of events that led me to consider it. Because by that point, it had been 20 years since I'd actually been composing these melodies, and I'd always had it in my head that even just one song to hear it played by an orchestra would just be a dream come true. And then during the pandemic and lockdown, suddenly I wasn't having to commute. I had been commuting up to near Birmingham from Swindon, so it was 3 hours in the car every day. Suddenly I didn't have that. I was working from home, so I had a lot more energy and free time, and money as well, because I wasn't paying all these petrol costs every day. And it just occurred to me, what can I do with this? And then I thought of the music and thought, why don't I do it properly? Not just one, but I've got the time now. I could all the stuff I've written could become proper music, and let's do it. And that's how I met Alex White, who was basically my main collaborator, because I'd written the melodies, but then turning that into something that an orchestra can play, that's when it's sort of the next level up. So someone who's trained in music, can write music, and so my part was sort of the big ideas, say, let's have a choir here, something like that, and then Alex would put that notes into his program and create a demo version of each track. And that took us about a year to go through all of my music, orchestrate it properly, and make these tracks that were ready to record in a studio.
Fantastic. And so do you concentrate more now on doing CDs, that way, or actually orchestras playing your music in concert halls?
Well, I mean,
what are the levels?
things keep going up, because originally I just thought it would be lovely to have my music on a CD.
Yeah.
That's happened. And now I want to do a concert, a live performance of the music. That would just be another dream come true. And so I've got that planned. That's coming up in September of this year.
Oh, great. Tell us more about that then.
So, yes, it'll be at Christchurch in Swindon on the 20th September. I'm getting the same orchestra from London that recorded the CD to come out to Swindon and play the music, and then I've got a proper choir too.
Oh, we love this.
They're called the Tallis Consort. So they do concerts in London. So I'm trying to make it as big as possible.
Yes.
And then I'm also involving the local singers who helped make the CD. So it's sort of everyone coming together who's been involved, and to make it sort of bring people in, and I've got special guests as well. So
this is wonderful.
So through the music, I've met people online, singers. So there's 2 sopranos that have had quite a bit of success. One of them's been on The Voice. I worked with Will.i.am. A Will.i.am and a soprano was an interesting combination. So now she does a lot of concerts. There's another soprano too, so they're coming to do some songs and sort of be part of this.
So just remind us, this is happening in Swindon. Which date is this?
This is the 20th of September.
20th of September. Listeners, put that down in your diaries. And whereabouts in Swindon?
That's at Christchurch in Old Town.
Right, Christchurch, Old Town.
Yeah.
That sounds very exciting. Is it evening or what?
That will be 7:30 start.
7:30 start. Yes, that's lovely. And can we ask, there's a price on the tickets? How is it? Got a price yet? Probably haven't got there yet.
Yeah, I haven't got there yet, but I'm thinking of not having a big price, but doing a collection for charity. I think some concerts do that. So I'd like to get the people in and then say, well, if you enjoyed it,
yes, pay something.
Let's
yes, because actually I'm a great believer you should charge, because otherwise, if it's free, it's if you don't believe in it yourself in a funny way, just giving it away.
Yes.
Well done you. I think it's lovely talking to you, Nicholas. And yes, it's lovely to actually meet a composer, because I don't think I've ever met one before. I hear people's music. Mozart, well, I can't meet him, he's gone. But to actually meet somebody who's doing it is very interesting.
I don't really
indeed.
believe it when people say you're a composer, because I don't feel like, I was never trained, and I may have done this.
Yes.
And obviously I do feel I've got some talent in being able to hear what sounds good.
Well, you've got a lot of talent, and I think what I love about people with talent is that they actually believe in themselves. You never let it go, did you? From a teenage years, it was always there, and you always knew you were going to somehow develop it, and well done, you've done it. Lovely talking to you. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, your website's not quite ready yet, is that?
The website it should be ready to go when this
is broadcast, so we can add that in. But otherwise, you're on Instagram.
Instagram is my main page.
Is your main page at the moment? Okay.
Nick Newton _music is my account.
Okay, lovely.
That's the best way to look me up.
Well, I wish you lots of luck, and I just feel that you're going to make it. From the moment we first met, you gave me your CD. I thought, well, this is somebody who's very determined, and you have to be determined as a composer, I would imagine. Thank you so much for your time talking to us. Thank you.